I want to wish everybody a good morning and welcome to the 2015 World Bank Group IMF annual meetings. It's truly great to be back in Lima. Peru has been a wonderful host, and we're grateful for all it has done to prepare for this event. Just a few days ago, we announced that for the first time in history, the percentage of people living in extreme poverty around the world will likely fall to under 10% this year, to 9.6% globally. This is the best story in the world. Our goals at the World Bank Group are to end extreme poverty by 2030 and to boost shared prosperity for the bottom 40% in developing countries. While we remain confident about ending extreme poverty, the final stretch will be extremely difficult because we're in the midst of a period of slow growth, the end of the commodity supercycle, pending interest rate hikes, and the continued flight of capital out of emerging markets. Now I want to get into two other issues that I want to bring to your attention. The first is on the impact of changing demographics. We released our global monitoring report yesterday, which shows that governments must overcome a growing demographic divide to make future progress. Half of the world lives in countries where populations are relatively young and growing, but are poor with little access to quality education. The other half lives in countries where populations are contracting, aging, and retiring. These countries drive most of the world's economic activity, but their economic growth is at risk as birth rates and the numbers of workers decline. These demographic realities can be a golden opportunity for both poor and rich countries. An influx of working-age refugees or migrants into a country with an aging population can ultimately reap benefits for everyone. But as we've been witnessing for the past few years, due to the ongoing conflict in Syria, the flow of refugees can lead to tragedy as well. The second topic I wanted to talk about is climate change. Climate change affects every nation and every person, but it hits poor people the hardest. We believe there are politically credible pathways to deliver $100 billion a year in climate financing for countries by 2020. The world must act now to put a price on carbon, end fossil fuel subsidies, increase access to renewable energy and improve energy efficiency, build cleaner, more livable cities, and invest in climate-smart agriculture. We'll be having active discussions with our shareholders in the coming days to do all we can to help the world find solutions that are equal to the challenge of climate change. And now I'll be happy to take your questions.
Syrian refugees who'd settled in Turkey have become very entrepreneurial,
Right.
set up very many businesses and so on, but that deprives the countries they come from of those skills.
We can't think of this as a short-term humanitarian response. We have to really think ahead about rebuilding and recovery in places like Syria. So we're already laying the groundwork for what we're going to do. We're following things like which are the hospitals, which are the schools that need to be rebuilt so that we can move much more quickly.